his face there with the hat.
Oh, we've lost another player. Jose Carreras goes out. And Bueno will fold that hand at our feature table, and Phillips takes it down.
Well, interesting way to play the kings, checking it twice. He got a little bit of action. Probably made the maximum on the hand, as it turned out.
Oh, and he's being moved with that elimination from the outer tables. We have to balance all three tables. We'll catch up with you later, Carter.
That was a nice little parting gift. On the way out the door, pick up 2 kings.
So, this hand was folded to the button. Kulinen has raised it up, and Elke is sitting in the small blind with 4s.
Well, there's a lot of different schools of thought on how to play 2 4s here. A lot of players think you should re-raise. Some would just call. And Elke's going to be aggressive here against the button steal attempt as it is, and hope to apply pressure to Kulinen, who's, you know, should really fold here with the Queen 3 of clubs.
But this is where we get into mind games, isn't it? Because Kulinen knows, okay, I raised light, but you probably think that I'm raising light, so you're now playing back at me light.
Right, and we've already seen Kulinen involved in some of these situations, with one with Bueno earlier where he had the 2 7s and had to fold, so he might be getting a little frustrated too by, you know, losing the positional battle. Oh my gosh, really? Well, this is an aggressive Scandi play, as I like to call it. He does not put Elke on a strong hand. He is absolutely right, and he's going to move all in with just 34% chance to win the pot, but Elke must think that he's in best case scenario up against 2 overcards. No way he can think he's up against Queen 3. Kulinen doing his best to try to not give away the fact that he's on a complete bluff. Wow!
Elke says, I can't fold it.
I'm not good.
Elke has pocket 4s.
How can you,
has Queen 3.
how can you call?
How would I fold?
So a great spot here for Elke to eliminate Kulinen. Still shocked. Look at him. He can't believe it.
Former EPT champion against former EPT champion, and there's a queen on the flop for Kulinen, and he moves in front.
Well, Kulinen with a risky play, got his money in a bad spot, but the flop helped him out. Now Elke needing a 4 on one of the remaining 2 cards. No help to either player. Kulinen looking to double up here, pot $750,000.
Elke on a 2-outer. Can't hit.
Well, Elke very frustrated, as you can tell, just kind of throwing his chips in with disgust. Made the right read. His opponent was on a kind of a crazy Scandi play, and Kulinen's like, what did I just do there? All right, I'll take it. $750, let's go.
How can you call?
Oh, don't do that.
Oh, that's bad. If I want to fold, I'm just going to fold. I'm not going to...
That's considered bad poker etiquette, really. You just win a pot. You don't needle a guy by saying, how can you call? Just take the money, smile, but look at Elke. He's just like, I can't believe it. Weird hand. Sick is right.
Yeah, your shove was sick, buddy.
What happened to the old days? There were...
So we've got 2 previous champs in the top 8, De Wolf and Killinan. It's been a good day for Patrick Bueno so far. He's currently in 4th. Kapala slipping into 2nd, but it's Mark Goodwin in the driving seat right now with 2.1 million in chips.
And Mark considers the EPT to be the most prestigious poker tour in the world. He is so keen to win his first EPT title here in Barcelona.
Well, the EPT has grown each and every season across the board. Some great locations. It's my new spot, if you will. I play a lot of these now.
Blinds have gone up to 8,000, 16,000, and we haven't seen Alexander Vasafira in action yet.
Well, we might here with a suited ace. Doesn't have a ton of chips here. He's really got one move, and he's going to make it, sticking it all in. 175 is the total.
Yeah, he was getting short stacked. He's going to make a stand.
Well, this is a decent hand to do it with. Ace-3 of spades. Unless he's up against precisely aces, he should have a decent chance of winning the pot if called. Well, he might get called here by the worst hand. Elke, King-Jack of diamonds.
And Elke has been left short after that all-in against Jens Kulinen, the Queen 3 against 4s hand.
Well, so 2 short stacks battling here. Grospellier only with 125,000 does make the right call. He's short as well. And it's a pretty close coin flip situation, as you see. Ace-3 of spades, 56%.
So Elke is behind and at risk, looking for a king or a jack. Certainly doesn't want to see 2 spades on the flop.
Well, that is an awful flop for Elke. He now needs to catch a king or a jack that's not a spade, and even if he does that, well, Vasafira would still have a lot of outs with the flush draw, straight draw, and the ace.
Elke says, let's have some suspense.
He wants some drama. Well, Grospellier now, which is one card. He's going to have to catch a king or a jack that's not a spade to stay alive. Otherwise, Wasserführer will win the spot.
No, it doesn't happen, and so we lose one of our former European Poker Tour champions. Bertrand Elke Grospellier is eliminated from the tournament in 19th place.
Well, not much Elke could have done differently there. He played it well.
Well, he gets a consolation prize. He gets to chat to Michelle.
Joined by Elke, we just saw him leave the tournament. Elke, sorry for you for that, but to be fair, it was the previous hand with the fours that really killed your tournament, wasn't it?
Yes, that was a huge part, and my guy was in the bottom, and I favored him from the small line. He moved in, and I hate folding in that spot because he can't move in with so many hands. And I covered him, so I called, and he had queen free, and he had a queen on the flop. That was like 750k pot, so it sucked a lot. And then I was very short stack, and I had to call all my chips with king jack of diamonds, and the guy had his 3 of spades, and I didn't hit anything. So it's very disappointing, I guess. Yeah.
Hey, you're not a stranger to the poker table, though, are you? So you're not one to get too worried about these spots. I mean, it's sad to go out, but it is poker.
It's sad, but I have to be the first one to win 2 EPTs, so...
Someone has to. It could have been you. Yes, it could have been you, Elke, but it wasn't meant to be. Right, join us after the break to see how our 4 former champs, Jan Bublé, Roland de Wolf, the Canadian Mike McDonald, and young Finn Jens Killinen get on in their fight for that elusive second title.
Barcelona is going to be my second EPT title.
I need to win this tournament.
I'm here to enjoy myself first and take another title down.
2-time UPT Barcelona. Yeah.
Welcome back to the PokerStars.com European Poker Tour from Barcelona, where 18 players remain, including 4 former champions.
Well, Barcelona brings out the best. I come to this event every year. It's a great location, and they always have an amazing turnout.
Now this is exciting, Daniel. We get to sweat with Patrick Bueno. We are only going to see his hole cards on this hand.
Well, action is going to be on Bueno now. Squeezing out. Ooh, well, that's a strong hand.
And he's on the button, and it's great to have a big hand on the button because so many players will raise light from this position.
Well, absolutely. With pocket on the button, you almost expect someone to think, oh gosh, this guy's raising the button, he doesn't have anything. So if someone picks up a hand like King Queen or King Jack, they might even re-raise you here. Certainly any pair would play. If someone picks up Ace Queen, they're in really bad shape. So Bueno really hoping to put on his best, like, I have nothing face. I'm trying to steal your blind. Don't mind me.
And remember, we are playing the hand from Patrick Bueno's perspective. We're not going to see what Newton has here in the small blind.
Well, looks like Newton has a little something here, and he's going to make the call here out of position. Well, ideally, Bueno wants to get re-raised here, but I'm sure he'll take this as well. A heads-up pot as the big blind folds.
9, 8, 5, 2 clubs.
Now, that's a very dangerous flop for aces. You certainly like the fact that there's, not really high cards, but an 8-9 is a combination that connects to hands like 10-Jack, and there's a couple clubs there. He decides to check this flop. Interesting.
And he brings another 9 and another club on the turn. He should have continuation bet that.
Well, I don't know about that necessarily. Bueno's a very tricky player. It's a dangerous board. He probably doesn't want to get check raised on that flop because he can't fold it.
75,000 is the bet from Julian.
Well, he's got a bet now from Julian here of 75,000, and Bueno can't really love this board. There's 3 clubs there. The board is paired. He's not going to fold it, but he's not going to raise it either. He's just going to call.
There's now 262,000 in the middle.
Now Newton has to be thinking, what in the world has Bueno got over here?
7 of diamonds. Julian's first.
Well, that completes a potential straight with a hand like Jack 10.
Well, that's a card that's got to worry Bueno a little bit. The Jack 10 does get there. Of course, a hand like Pocket Sixes hasn't beat. A 9-10 suited, of course, hasn't beat. But the way Bueno's played this hand, he's really played it in such a way that he kind of has to pay it off.
You say that, but that is the better part of the pot, Daniel. 220,000.
Well, at this point, you'd think that he can really only beat a bluff. It doesn't look like Newton has something like Jacks or Queens. He probably would have raised with those hands. So he's either hit this board, or he's missed his hand, and Bueno has the best hand. So really, it's a weird situation where you have aces, but all you can really beat is a bluff. It's a strong hand, but not with a board like that.
Would you call in this situation?
You know, I'm a little suspicious about the call before the flop. I don't necessarily think it connects with this board. And to bet the river, he has to have a pretty strong hand. I think if I'm Bueno, the way I played it, I'm pretty much forced to making this call on the river. There's too many hands you can beat.
Would it be a terrible play to fold it, though?
I don't know that it would be. It's really a read situation. If Bueno has a tail on him, you did see, you know, Newton went for a drink. Oh, here he is going for another drink of water. You know, he might be suspicious. He looks a little nervous, but it really comes down to body language. Tells you might have picked up throughout the tournament, and I don't know if Bueno has one on him, but he's definitely confused by the bet. He's folding it, really, and shows it. Oh boy, what a good fold. Newton actually had ace-jack of clubs for the nut flush. So that's $220,000 that Bueno saved that I would have paid off like a slot machine.
Maybe Patrick did have a good read on his opponent, and we call that hand sweat with Patrick. He has started to sweat. He's starting to feel the pressure. He got off to a great start our feature table, but he's been hemorrhaging chips for a while now.
Well, Bueno actually saved a lot of chips by not betting that flop. Had he bet the flop, I think Newton might have check raised, and they could have been all in on the flop.
Let's head out to the outer tables, because the man who won this tournament in Season 2, Jan Bublé, has called an all-in. Ari Kolpanitsky shoved with kings, Jan called with sixes, and he's drawing very thin. A full house for Ari on the river, and Jan is crippled. He needs a small miracle to get back into this tournament, but ever the gentleman.
Yeah, well, Bublé was in trouble on the turn. He was up against a set of kings, but he could have hit a diamond there to split the pot, didn't, and now, as you see,